disappointing. There's no better single word to describe Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified. The PlayStation Vita's dual analog controls made every FPS fan hope that we'd get a proper handheld shooter. And if there's one franchise that could deliver it, you'd think it'd be Activision's biggest. But it stumbles at every turn.
Take for example Operation Active Measures. A simple asset recovery gone sideways.
Accusations that people wrongly level at many of the console and PC Call of Duty games are largely true in Declassified. From truly terrible AI, to bad narrative, to broken feeling multiplayer. This is not the Call of Duty you wanted. All handed to developer Nihilistic, they at least made the interface feel like a Call of Duty game. Multiplayer has created class, complete with perks, attachments, and kill streaks, and when you shoot enemies, you get those rewarding notifications to tell you you've leveled up or completed a challenge. Then things go horribly wrong. The story of Declassified is really just a series of disjointed levels that involve characters from the Black Ops games. There's no ultimate conclusion, just a number of setups to provide a reason why you're doing the next objective. It's a shame too, because the Black Ops games have traditionally told some of the better stories of the Call of Duty franchise. It just doesn't really look all that great either. The weapons you're holding look good for Vita, but the enemies are often 100% clones, the environment's muddy and uninteresting. There's no moment in Declassified that ever wows, that captures that sense of spectacle that the Call of Duty franchise does best. Shooting is what people want to do in a Call of Duty game, and Declassified does indeed allow you to do that. Thing is, it's just not very fun. The single-player story levels toss waves of idiotic enemies at you, foes who are so dumb they'll shoot walls right in front of them. Watch as they get caught on walls too. Yep, that happens. Control issues also hamper the combat experience. It's great playing a handheld and having a second analog stick, but since you can only change the sensitivity and not the acceleration, I keep finding myself overshooting my targets and having to constantly correct. Thank God they have the series' aggressive Snap 2 aim, because without it, combat would be even more frustrating than it already is. The single-player story missions don't make up for the lack of narrative with great design either. They're essentially vignettes from other Call of Duty levels, condensed into 2 to 5 minute chunks. Sometimes you'll be sniping, other times you might be fighting your way to an evac point. None of them are very interesting on their own, and while the bumbling enemy AI doesn't do much right, they'll sure as hell shoot at you, even if they can't see you, and very accurately. This resulted in a lot of cheap-feeling deaths, and since there's no mid-mission checkpoints at all, you'll be forced to restart each stage over and over. Yes, they're short, but after seeing the same unskippable starting sequence a few times, I found myself wishing for any sort of checkpoint system. The rest of the single-player content is rounded out by time trials against targets and a survival mode. Both survival and time trial modes are also held back by the unwieldy controls too, making them just not all that fun to play. If controls are an issue in single-player, they're definitely an issue in multiplayer. For a series all about precision aim, multiplayer makes me feel like I'm hamstrung, and getting a kill sometimes feels as much a result of spraying and praying as it does skill. It doesn't perform all that well either, making the whole thing feel unpolished. And despite having some of my favorite modes like Team Deathmatch and Kill Confirmed, the levels just can't make it very compelling. Even with only 4v4, the maps often feel too small, with respawn issues that place me right in front of the line of fire of my enemies mere seconds after spawning. You can level up in prestige just like other Call of Duty games, or even play with everything unlocked in local multiplayer, but why bother with so many issues?
Enemy mortar strike spotted.
Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified is the epitome of spoiled potential. The Vita's online functionality and second analog stick make it a great platform for a good first-person shooter, but Declassified is definitely not it. Control woes, terrible campaign level design, and constrictive multiplayer levels, and a number of other issues make it beyond underwhelming. It's just downright bad. For more on Declassified and the highly superior Black Ops 2, keep it on IGN.